I really don't know where to begin. Some days you just start off great. You get someone that calls you and gives you some great feedback, and you feel really cool about it. You're like, man, this is it. I'm making a difference. And then other days you get somebody that just kind of comes at you, um, and I get these students that periodically come and they'll make a comment like, let's say, for example, someone writes a paper and they just don't know how to use sources. And this happens, and I express this video with no specifics, meaning there's no FERPA issues and we're not violating their integrity and their privacy. So I want to make that clear. So when you look at things from that perspective and you say, hey, sometimes we're new at school or it's a new program or you just haven't used sources before, so let me show you how to do it. I struggle with this. I have an 11-year-old who knows how to write dissertation level papers, of course, and I can't show her anything how to write, but I understand that from an 11-year-old. I get it. And But when you have someone who's in college and you try to say, look, you didn't use these sources correctly, you literally cut and paste it, and just because you put a source at the end of that paragraph or after it all, somehow magically it just all goes away and all the problems just disappear. That's not how it works. When you use something word for word and it looks like you wrote it and just used the idea from someone, then that's plagiarism. It may not be intentional and it may be a mistake or you just don't know, but it is plagiarism. So here's a clue, okay? When a professor comes along like me and says, hey, I just don't think you know what you're doing here, so I can turn it over. Here's option one, academic integrity or academic review, and give you a 0. And they may allow you to do it again, or some schools just say, sorry, it's 0, you get your warning, 3 strikes, you're out. Every school's different, okay? But when you have someone who says, I want to make this a learning lesson, I don't think you understand how to do this, so let me work with you. Um, this is how you do it. If it's word for word, it's quoted. You want to quote less, it's a weak form of writing. But option two is reach out to a writing guide or writing center. Schools always have different things that can help you with your writing. So reach out to them and work on that. And then the next paper, we won't have this issue. Or you can call me. I actually get my phone number out, and you can call me and we'll talk about these things and really, go into detail because I want you to understand how to use sources. So I have a student that sits there and says, "No, you're accusing me of cheating. I'm not a cheater." Well, it doesn't matter if you did it on purpose or not. I'm telling you what the world's like and how reality is, and you have choices. Okay, but then they make their third choice. This is classic. I'm gonna go tell the dean. Okay, well, you go tell the dean. First of all, the dean, if they're worth their salt, is going to say one of the following things. Well, yes, you did plagiarize and you should be reprimanded, and I will talk to Dr. Pete and make sure he does that. The second thing is, and this is most common, about 90% responses, Dr. Pete really is working with you, and I'm kind of surprised because he's done so much to help you and gone out of his way, and you really are being pretty negative. This guy can give you a 0 and ping your record and put it, and really, make things go bad, maybe even fail the class. So it's remarkable that he's working with you, and we really respect that. Okay, that's typically the response. Okay, so and having said that, if just because you go to a dean or higher up and you complain doesn't make it go away. And then the professor then starts paying attention even more. So if you're that person and you're not working to get better and you're going to try to get the professor in trouble or burn their career or get them fired, that's fine. You can do that. But that professor is going to now follow every rule in the book. They're going to edit every line. They're going to watch every little thing, cross all the T's, dot all the I's, because they're professional. They're not going to sit there and be ugly, mean, and spiteful, but they're going to follow the rules 100%. And by following the rules 100%, most students aren't going to like that because there's no flexibility. You cheat it, sorry, can't do that, move it over, they'll deal with it. They'll tell me what to do with it. And eventually, you just get processed out of the class or you get a very low grade or you fail the class. So just a recommendation, just some thoughts. Take the time to communicate to the professor. If you really don't know what you're doing, just say it. I don't know what I'm doing. I made a mistake. I think most professors are willing to address that and say, you know what, that's legitimate, that's fair. Some are very hard-nosed, like you're going to get an academic violation, you have an integrity problem, you did cheat, and they're just going to push it. That's nothing you can do with that but apologize. And that's the best course of action, because administrators see that and they'll sit there and say, well, they made an effort and they did make a mistake. It's in their file, but let's get them more help and teach them. And they'll work with you in the future as well. Make that effort to say something positive, to reach out to the professor, to really send that message that, hey, I might have made a mistake. I appreciate your feedback. I like working with you, something to that effect. Because most professors, in my heart, I believe, really want you to do good things. And if they can correct this problem in this class, then they know that you moving forward, you're going to do a lot of good things. And in other words, get your degree and then represent the school well. So look at it from that perspective. Just because someone gives you bad feedback doesn't mean you have to go off the handle in the deep end and then go, try to scream and yell. For example, I'm a retired military officer. I tell the dean this as well. Any dean, any boss, you can yell and scream at me all day long. I work because I enjoy working. I don't work because I have to. I work at good quality schools that give me the ability to give all my time to students. So that's what I do. So if you want to get me fired, well, that's fine. I got 10 other schools waiting to hire me, or they're going to offer me jobs in the next couple weeks. It doesn't bother me. To me, it's a process of teaching and teaching with people with integrity. So just some food for thought and some things to think about. Thank you, and good luck out there.